Arrangement View is similar to working in other music production programs, so it's a good place to start if you're new to Ableton Live. Let's begin there and take a closer look at the track controls. All right, so I've got exercise 1 from chapter 3 open if you want to follow along. And we're going to focus on this right side of Arrangement View. Now, if you find that you're actually in Session View, remember that you can switch between the two views by clicking these buttons in the upper right-hand corner. You can also press your Tab key to toggle between the two views. Now, right now I don't see a lot of detail here over in the track controls because the track heights are so small. So we can increase the track height by clicking on one of these unfold triangles on the left edge of the track nameplate, or you can move your cursor to the bottom edge of a track and you can click and drag up and down to change the track height. Now you can extend this action to all tracks by adding the Option key on a Mac or the Alt key on a PC. So for example, if I Option click one of these unfold triangles, you can see that it's doing that to all tracks. And if I do the same thing by Option clicking on the bottom of a track and dragging down and up, you'll see that I'm changing the track height of all of the tracks. Now, if you want to size the track so that you can see the maximum size allowable so that all of them show in this area, you can click the H button up here, or you can hit the H key on your computer keyboard. Now, let me increase the track height of one of these tracks. And I'll point out that what we see here is governed by these 4 Show Hide buttons in the lower right-hand corner. For example, right now I don't see the input and output settings. So if I click the I/O button, there they are. And right now we do see the return tracks, which are right here. That's the R button. And we're also seeing the mixer settings, which are these controls right here. And then last but not least, there's the ability to set some track delay. And we can do that using the field here that we see on the far right. So the controls that we see here in the mixer area are things that you're going to use a lot. So let's go over those. So the first one here, that's kind of this gold color surrounding the track number, that's the track activator button. And when that is enabled, we're going to hear the track. If I click that so that it's grayed out, I've effectively muted the track. Next to that, we have the solo and record buttons. Now, those buttons are affected by a preference. So let's go up to the options menu if you're on a PC and the live menu if you're on a Mac. And we'll go into preferences and then select the record warp launch tab. So what we're looking for is this option that says exclusive. Now, when these buttons are lit, the arm button for the record arm button and the solo button for the solo button, we're in exclusive mode and we can only solo or record arm one track at a time. So I'm going to leave it this way so that we can see how it works in both cases. So right now, if I solo the drums track, and let me pull over here and select the verse. Now, if I hit play, I'm only going to hear the drums. But I can add the bass if I want. And I could add some of these other tracks if I wanted to. So I can have multiple tracks soloed at the same time. Now, if you want to clear these, you'll need to Command click or Control click if you're on a PC. Now, I'm in exclusive mode for the record button. So now I can actually only record enable one track at a time. See that. Now, if you want to override that command, you can hold down your Command key if you're on a Mac or your Control key if you're on a PC, and you can record arm multiple tracks. These you'll need to click individually to disable. All right, below that, we have the track volume control. Normally we'd have a fader, but there's not enough room in this window. So you can click in here and you can drag up or down to set the level. Next to that, we have the panning control. So if I click and I drag down, I can go all the way left. And if I push up, I can go all the way right. And if you want to reset that, you can just double click. And then below that, we have our send controls. So the sends are hardwired to return tracks. So when you create a return track, you get a send. For example, if I go up to the Create menu and I say Create or Insert Return Track, I just got a fourth one, and that added another send here. So it's A, B, C, and D, and these are connected to these 4 return tracks. And if you lift the level on one of those, it's going to copy some signal from the track and run it over to the corresponding return track where it can be processed to add things like reverb and delay. Okay, so another thing that you might want to do at some point would be to add automation on a track. So if I'm on the sine bass track and I click the automation button up here on the top, it is going to show me an automation graph for whatever the selected parameter. For example, it looks like I had the panning selected. If I click the track volume control, now I'm looking at mixer and track volume, and I can add automation there. So you can make that visible by clicking the automation button, or you can do that by pressing your A key on your computer keyboard. Now, last but not least, you can change the track order by dragging tracks up and down, or if you've got a track header selected, you can hold down your command key if you're on a Mac or the control key on a PC, and you can use your up and down arrows. So here I'm going command down arrow, and that's moving that track down, and then command up arrow will move that track back to where it started. So we're just getting started in arrangement view. So check out the next video where we'll discuss how to zoom in and out and make selections.